If someone could consistently beat the stock market, why would they be talking to you on YouTube? That question alone should make you uncomfortable, because if you think about it for more than 5 seconds, it starts to unravel the entire world of investing gurus. The thumbnails, the tweets, the urgency, the screenshots, the last chance before the market explodes. None of it makes sense if the person on the other side actually has what they claim to have. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how investing gurus actually make their money and why it has very little to do with investing. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear about one thing. This isn't about saying everyone online is a scammer. It's about incentives, because in markets, incentives matter more than intentions. And once you understand the incentives behind most investing gurus, you'll never look at financial content the same way again. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most investing gurus don't make money from the market. They make money from people who want to beat it. Let's start with the dream they sell you. The pitch is always the same, even if the words change. Financial freedom. Escape the 9 to 5. Make money while you sleep. Outsmart Wall Street. Be early. Be different. Be smarter than the average investor. And most importantly, don't miss out. That last one is key. Because fear of missing out is the fuel that powers the entire guru economy. Markets move slowly. Wealth compounds quietly. But gurus need speed. They need excitement. They need volatility. Because boring doesn't sell, urgency does. And that's where the first crack appears. If you were genuinely good at investing, not lucky, not early, but good, your edge would be fragile. You wouldn't broadcast it. You wouldn't simplify it into a 3-step framework. And you definitely wouldn't package it into a course with a countdown timer. Real investing edges decay when too many people use them. Gurus need the opposite. They need scale. Which brings us to the first and most important source of guru income: attention. Attention is the product. Investing is just the story. YouTube views, Twitter impressions, TikTok virality, newsletter subscribers. Every platform rewards bold claims, certainty, and confidence. Not nuance, not doubt, not "this might work over 20 years if conditions are right." The algorithm doesn't reward honesty, it rewards engagement. So what happens? Gurus become entertainers first, investors second. Their real job isn't managing risk. It's holding your attention long enough to monetize it. And once they have your attention, the monetization begins. The most obvious one is courses. Courses are brilliant businesses, near zero marginal cost, infinite scalability, and best of all, results are impossible to verify. If you fail, it's not the strategy. It's your mindset, your discipline, your execution. You didn't follow the rules properly. Notice how that works. In investing, losses are normal. In course marketing, losses are your fault. And here's the uncomfortable part. You don't need to be a good investor to sell investing courses. You just need to be a good marketer. In fact, being a great investor can be a disadvantage because great investors are cautious. They speak in probabilities. They avoid promises. They say, "I don't know a lot." That doesn't sell. What sells is certainty, confidence, screenshots, and stories. Which brings us to track records. Most guru track records are either short, cherry-picked, or unverifiable. A great year becomes a personality. A lucky trade becomes a brand. A bull market becomes proof of genius. Another trick that quietly builds guru credibility is the paper portfolio, hypothetical returns, backtests, model portfolios. Perfect entries, perfect exits, no taxes, no slippage, no emotion. On paper, everything works. Losses are tolerable when the money isn't real. Anyone can say they'd hold through a 40% drawdown when there's nothing at stake. But real investing isn't about what could have happened. It's about what you actually lived through when fear, doubt, and uncertainty were real. Paper portfolios don't test discipline. They test imagination. You'll rarely see a full cycle, rarely see audited returns, rarely see performance after fees, taxes, and drawdowns. Instead, you see highlights, best months, best trades, best case scenarios. It's survivorship bias on steroids. For every guru you see, there are hundreds who failed quietly and disappeared. You're only shown the winners, or at least the ones who look like winners. And once the image is established, the upsell begins. Paid discords, private Telegram groups, monthly subscriptions, signals, alerts, exclusive access. Think about the psychology here. You're not paying for information, you're paying for reassurance. You're paying to feel like you're on the inside, like you're part of something others aren't. That feeling is incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous, because now your incentives are misaligned. You don't want to question the guru, you've paid them. You don't want to leave, you've invested emotionally. You don't want to admit it's not working. That would mean admitting you were wrong. And the guru? They get paid whether you make money or not. That's the core problem. In real investing, skin in the game matters. If you lose money, it hurts, it forces discipline, it limits recklessness. But in the guru model, the risk is outsourced to you. They earn when you hope, not when you win. There's also something most gurus never mention. Short-term trading is a negative-sum game for the average participant. Before anyone makes a profit, fees are paid, spreads are crossed, taxes are triggered. Slippage eats away returns. For every winning trade, someone else is on the other side. And over time, the house always takes a cut. That means even if you break even on paper, you're still losing in reality. The more you trade, the more you donate to brokers, exchanges, and platforms. And yet, this is the part of investing gurus love most, because frequent action feels like progress, even when it quietly drains capital. Now let's talk about one of the most subtle tricks gurus use: complexity. If something doesn't work, it can't be simple. It must be misunderstood, misapplied, too advanced for beginners. So strategies become increasingly complicated. Indicators on top of indicators, frameworks within frameworks, new terms, new acronyms, new systems. Complexity creates dependency. If investing feels too simple, you don't need the guru. But if it feels overwhelming, you'll keep coming back. For clarification, for updates, for the next piece of the puzzle. And here's the irony. The most successful investors in history follow embarrassingly simple principles. Buy good businesses, pay reasonable prices, avoid leverage, be patient. That doesn't mean it's easy. It means it's emotionally hard, not intellectually complex. Gurus flip that. They make investing intellectually complex, but emotionally exciting. And excitement is the enemy of compounding. Let's pause for a second because this is important. The most dangerous thing about investing gurus isn't that they're wrong. It's that they're convincing. Confidence sells, certainty persuades. And when markets go up, everyone looks like a genius. Bull markets create gurus the way rain creates mushrooms. And when the market eventually turns, the narrative shifts. Losses become temporary. Drawdowns become opportunities. Missed predictions are quietly forgotten. New themes emerge. New cycles. New reasons why this time is different. The guru survives by adapting the story, not by admitting error. And that's why you'll rarely see a guru say, "I don't know," or "I was wrong," or "this didn't work." Because humility doesn't scale. Now compare this to how real investors behave. Warren Buffett doesn't sell a course. Charlie Munger didn't run a Discord. They don't post daily predictions. They don't chase trends. They don't need your attention. They make money by letting capital compound, not by convincing others to follow them. And that difference matters, because when someone's income depends on you staying engaged, their advice will subtly change. It will become more frequent, more emotional, more urgent, not because the market changed, but because the algorithm did. So how do you protect yourself? First, follow the incentives. Always ask, how does this person make money? Is it from investing or from talking about investing? Second, be wary of urgency. Real opportunities don't come with countdown timers. The stock market will be open tomorrow. Third, demand long-term evidence, not screenshots, not single-year returns, full cycles, drawdowns included. Fourth, remember this: if something sounds easy, fast, or inevitable, it probably isn't. Investing is slow, boring, uneventful, and deeply uncomfortable at times. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling something. And finally, Understand this: the most valuable thing you can learn about investing isn't how to pick stocks. It's how to avoid bad advice. Because the biggest losses don't come from market crashes. They come from trusting the wrong people with your decisions. So the next time you see an investing guru promising clarity in a complex world, ask yourself one simple question: if this really worked, why do they need me? That question alone can save you years and a lot of money. And that's how investing gurus actually make their money. Not from the market, but from belief. If this video helped you see investing more clearly, subscribe. I post content focused on long-term thinking, real incentives, and avoiding costly mistakes. Not hype, not shortcuts. And if you think more people need to hear this, share it with someone before they learn the hard way.